Long time no see. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to your daily encouragement channel. My name is Lewis. Sorry it's been a while. Life's been happening, and honestly, I've just been trying to get other things done, and I realize I need to take the time to do this. So, if you're unfamiliar with what we had been doing for a while here, was um, we basically been providing daily encouragement, taking God's word and trying to provide you with a verse or two or multiple, and hoping to do our best to provide you with uh, a thought or two or three or five to kind of get you through the day, through the week, whatever it is that we can do. The last that we had spoken, we were talking about the greatest example that we could possibly have, which was Jesus, and what it was that he did to show himself an example for us. And what we did is we took him at his most vulnerable, his worst time, so to speak, and that was right before his crucifixion, his death and burial, and of course the highlight, his resurrection. And what we had been talking about, we got up to the betrayal of Jesus by Judas, and even the denial that Peter, I think we covered that, where Jesus had told Peter, he said, you guys are gonna fail me, basically. And Peter's like, not me, I would never do that. And Peter had said, though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended. That idea of offended, it was the idea of kind of to cause the stumble, someone that they were going to stumble or fall and basically deny Jesus. And Jesus said unto him, verily I say unto thee, that this night before the cock crow thou shalt deny me three times. Peter said, though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee. Likewise also said all the disciples. I guess I should have told you, we're going out of Matthew chapter 26, and this was verses 31 through 35. If I didn't cover it, I covered it now. And so what I wanted to do is get to the part of Jesus' prayer. And it starts in verse 36 of chapter 13. And it tells us, then cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and said unto the disciples, sit ye here, while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then saith he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here, and watch with me. Now, I just, if you're not familiar with our channel, we don't sit there and do deep word studies, so to speak, or try to break down the word conjugation or anything like that. What we try to do is look at it at face value. And what is it telling us? Jesus said to some of the disciples that he didn't take with him, stay here while I pray. Now, his idea wasn't for them to just sit there and twiddle their thumbs. It was for them to learn a little bit, to grow, to understand what it was that he was doing. He was always showing himself an example, always showing himself to show his disciples what it was they needed to be doing. And what did he show them there? I'm going to go pray. And what does it say? He took Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and it says he began to be sorrowful and very heavy. I don't think I need to define what sorrowful is and very heavy. Maybe we describe why. Because Jesus knew what was coming. He knew what was ahead for him. He was going to be making the biggest sacrifice. No, it wasn't necessarily the death that he was about to face. It wasn't even necessarily the punishment of sin upon him, though he knew no sin. It was the idea of that separation from his Father, that opportunity that his Father had to turn his face away because he was sin. He was representing the penalty, or accepting the penalty for you and for me, for the sin he didn't commit. And he had to get ready for that. And he says, he told them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. One of the greatest tools that we've been presented as a Christian is the opportunity to pray one for another and to be encouraging one to another. In previous videos, we've talked about the idea of our communication and the idea that we're supposed to help and be an encouragement one to another. And we also talk about how we fail at that too. Well, we've got an example in the Bible that we're not the only ones. And the Bible said, tarry ye here and watch with me. Verse 39, and he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. And he cometh unto his disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What? Could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Let's look at what he says. It says that Jesus separated himself from Peter and the sons of Zebedee, and he prayed, got on his face, and said, Lord, Father, thy will be done. If it could be that I don't lose that fellowship, that momentary separation from you, but yet, whatever your will is, that would be what I want done. You know, we each face trials and troubles and struggles and tribulations. And we sometimes wonder why it happens. Because we don't like it. I've had stresses and struggles. I've had broken relationships. I've had financial struggles. I've had medical struggles. Some of my own doing, some of not. But the point was, when I ask, why does it happen? Sure, it could be you were to blame for this, or you did these things wrong. But ultimately, they happen because God allowed them to happen. Was it His will for me to get sick? Maybe not, but I don't know that. Or is there responsibility on my part? Yeah. But there's still the idea that He allowed it to happen. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. As you go through your struggle, is that how you pray to God today? Do you sit there and say, God, I know what I want. I know what it is that I want in my life. But what's important is that it's not what I want. It's what you want. It's the thing that you have for me. You know what? You may be going through a struggle that's going to be an example to somebody else. That's going to be an encouragement or a blessing to somebody else that's going through that struggle. And the way that you deal with it, the way that you handle it, is going to be that example to that other person, to that family member. And then he goes back to his disciples, and what did he find? That they were asleep. And I find it interesting. What did he say? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. Do you realize the struggles and difficulties you face in life sometimes come up because, as it says, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. You're going to want to do right, but the temptation to do something else is going to be greater. The temptation to do what you want to do and not pay attention to what God may want for you to do is going to be greater than your desire. It's going to be greater to do what you want to do. And it says, don't do it. Watch out for temptation. See, it's easy to get discouraged, but if we sit there and we go, God, I know you have a reason for this. You have a purpose behind it, and I'm going to trust in you. We can see great things happen. Trying to finish up really quick because I see we're at the mark I try to cut off by, but we want to finish this section up. Verse 42, he went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me except I drink it, thy will be done. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them and went away again and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples and saith unto them, Sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. Now, a couple points I want to bring out really quick here. Did you notice Jesus said the same words, the same idea, emphasizing the importance of continuing to go before God? Now, I want this understood. It's not vain repetition. We're not talking about the practice of just saying certain words, but it's the idea of how much do you really want that prayer answered? We sit there and we go to church and we say, Lord, I've been praying for healing, or Lord, I've been praying for this, or I've been praying for this. Jesus, our ultimate example, prayed 3 times within a short time frame the same prayer, the same idea. Lord, I want to do your will. This is what I'd like to do, but ultimately I want to do your will. Your will be done. And I find it interesting also where it talks about when he found them asleep, it says, for their eyes were heavy. Let's understand a little bit. Yeah, they were tired. Sometimes you're going to be tired. And God's still going to say, hey, I know you're tired, but what are you going to do for me? You might say, okay, you're stretching it out a little bit. Am I? One of the greatest preventers of us having good fellowship with God is that we're tired. Whether it's because we've just had a long day or we're not properly getting the rest that we need. Just something interesting. Said, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them and went away, prayed a 3rd time. Then you noticed, he said, okay guys, take your rest. Because now it's time. Now it's time. I've been betrayed. And I'm going to be betrayed right now. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be me. See, there are times where we're sitting there going, Lord, I'm trying and trying and trying. I feel like I keep failing. I feel like I keep failing, and it's just not going the way I want it to. Keep getting on your knees. Keep praying. Keep saying, Lord, your will be done. Lord, your will be done. Lord, your will be done. You might say, Lewis, you don't have a guarantee it's going to be answered right. In a way, you're right. Because in Jesus' prayer, his example, guess what? He said, if it be your will, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. God's will was done. Not even Jesus had his will done at that moment. But the Father's will. You know, my favorite phrase to say is, I don't know what you're going through. But even bigger than that, it really doesn't matter what it is that you're going through. I mean, don't get me wrong. I by no means am acting like I'm an expert. I'm not acting like it's not important. These disciples had things going on in their lives. Jesus said, hey, pause, stop, pray with me. Pray with me that the Lord's will be done. Guess what? He's in our heart now. We have the Holy Spirit in our heart, but it's still our responsibility to pray. Lord, I really want to see this family member saved. Lord, I really want to grow. Lord, I really want to have this bill taken care of. Lord, I really want to see this sickness healed. Lord, I really want to see this relationship healed. So many different requests that could be in play. Are you being that person and following the example in front of us? The next section in this chapter, we're going to see about his betrayal and his arrest, and what an incredible story will be there. But until then, I do thank you. I do thank you for taking the time to come back to our channel. I'm going to try my best to continue to be dedicated to this. I've had some time opened up based on one of my obligations that I've been a part of for the last 3 months ending, and so I'm hoping to be able to devote some more time towards this. I'm hoping to be an encouragement to you because you know this is what God's directed me to do. It's part of my way of fellowshipping with him, and I hope it can be an encouragement to you. Feel free to make comments, like or subscribe or whatever it might be. I don't do this for clicks or for any kind of monetary reward. I do it in a hope and an attempt to be a blessing to someone, even just one person that's struggling, if they're able to be encouraged, then I feel like I've done my job. Until the next time, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, God will bless you as you seek to serve Him and you seek to be daily encouragement.